What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. In today's video, we're checking out this bad boy. This is the JingleMining Jasminer X4. Huge shout out to today's video sponsor, JingleMining. JingleMining is the leading distributor of one of the most efficient and powerful Ethereum miners on the market today. Go check them out at jinglemining.com. All right, guys. So this has to be one of the most insane products that has ever been sent to me. If you asked me 6 months ago what Jasminer was, I couldn't even tell you. But over the last few weeks here, Jasminers have turned up everywhere within the crypto mining scene, especially for Ethereum, and I am thrilled to get my hands on one. Huge shout out to the team at JingleMining. So it's a 1U unit that is traditionally meant for like a server rack. There's not much to it. It's a plain Jane case. There isn't really any markings on the outside. It actually reminds me of like a 1U DVR or NVR system. It's a plain Jane case that is nothing special to it, as we talked about. But it's heavy. It's got some weight to it. It's not cheap either. Everything about it. The outside case is thick and strong. Even the hooks on the side here are no joke at all. But it also then comes with, let's see here, a little warranty guide. Nothing too crazy in here. We open it up. And we even got this little guy here that tells us the manufacturer date of 3/9. So very, very recently. And then we have a power cable, which we have the C13 to a wonky end. So we'll just go ahead and use a traditional one that we have. On the side here, you can see high throughput 1U server, model Jasminer X4, and then it has input 240 volt, 50 by 60 hertz. Pretty sweet. So other than that, if we spin this sucker around, take a look on the back side, there's not much to it. One power plug and an Ethernet cable. That's it. Now we have a whole bunch of mesh on the back side here. Based off my understanding of the way this is designed, this is going to be our exhaust. And then on the front here, we have our intakes coming through. Now, I have not opened this up yet, but we're going to. We're going to crack this open and take a look inside. I'm going to take a guess that the whole front of this thing is stacked full of fans that are blowing air directly across ASIC chips and then exhausting out the back side. But let's go ahead and jump onto the computer and learn a little bit more about this Jasminer X4. Okay, so once we're over on the Jasminer website, we're going to go to catalog and we're going to take a look at our model here, which is the Jasminer X4-1U. So this is an Ethereum, or should we say ETH hash miner, but also it can be an ETC hash miner, which applies to most of us miners currently here in 2022 with proof of stake on the horizon here over the next few months. Looks like June, July, August, sometime in that period. But don't fear, because this unit can go ahead and mine Ethereum Classic, which right now is looking phenomenal. And I'm not going to lie to you, by the end of this video, I'm going to be mining Ethereum Classic on it. I'm not actually going to mine Ethereum because right now, I want to get as much Ethereum Classic as I can because it's so profitable right now. So taking a look at this unit, we can see here that the coins that it supports, there's actually a number of them here. Ethereum ETC, and I don't know all of these here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different coins and algorithms that it does support, or should I say that it does support here. If you look at the hash rate, 520 mega hash, plus or minus 10%, which is insane. Our power consumption, 240 watts. What can you find out there right now that is 520 mega hash at 240 watts? That's like nothing, like absolutely nothing, which is crazy. So outside of that unit that we have here, we can actually see, which actually interests me here, check down below. It's got the power supply and also has the fans. So I'm eager to see if those are the fans that we actually have inside of our case. So let's not waste too much time. Let's jump back to the camera. Let's open this up and let's see what's inside. Alrighty guys, we have our Jasminer X4-1U open. I don't know if we've ordered our warranty or not. It had one of those little shiny stickers on the side here with a screw stuck under it. Took me forever to figure out there was a screw under there. But hey, everything for science, right? So power supply we have over here. Looks like that's not firmly in there perfectly. We got our power buttons on the side here going down to a, and it looks like, this looks like some type of motherboard or interface board right here, actually, is what I'm seeing. Actually, power or motherboard is probably actually right there. And then we do have this giant cover that's kind of like completely directing airflow. And I believe I was wrong. So we have all these little mini fans here in the front, actually 4. We're actually missing a 4th one here, or a 5th one here, actually. But everything is encased under here. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. Okay, moment of truth. Let's open this up here. Ooh, holy cow. Look at the size of this heatsink. Oh my gosh. That is crazy, guys. So I don't think I'm going to take off the heatsink here, but this is insane. Wow. Okay. So a little different than I expected, honestly. So 4 of these fans here, I'll have to look to see if we can find anything on these regarding how much CFM they put out. We have our heat sink in the center, this massive heat sink that's over top of, and here it even says Jasminer X4 right on this board. That's really cool. I assume our ASIC chips are right under here. I'm not going to take this off or mess with it at all. And then we have several of them on that side. I wonder if I'm missing a fan. Because why would you have a fan here and not have a fan here? I wonder if I'm missing one. I'll have to ask Jasminer about that to find out if that's normal, or I'll ask some of the other crypto miners that got these. So, pretty cool design. I mean, it's basic and simple, but I have never seen such a massive heatsink. Now, our shield here does serve a purpose, a huge purpose, and that is directing airflow. I mean, it's very flimsy, very cheap. You know, you think based off of this entire thing and how high quality everything is that this would be more of like a hard plastic, but hey, it does the trick. It's perfect. It sits right over top of all of this here and then directs the airflow right through it. So let me go ahead and I'm going to leave this off, I think, and let me get this plugged in, configured. And what I really want to see is how this thing does. Now, I am curious on how hot this gets. So I did go ahead and purchase a thermal surface gun that we'll be able to go ahead and use and actually determine how hot this is actually getting. Because there's a lot of skeptics out there on jazz miners. I've read lots of people's concerns with people that don't own one, and they're concerned that maybe they're just cloud miners. So what I want to do is I do want to go ahead and put the heat gun on here and see, is this truly getting hot? Especially in those first 30 minutes, you know, based off of these setup instructions on their website, you get it all configured, it reaches out to the pool, and then it takes about 30 minutes, I'm sorry, not 30 seconds, 30 minutes to go ahead and actually start mining and reporting to the pool, and you'll actually start to see hash rates. So I'm curious on what's happening at that time. So I'm going to take a few readings here during that process. So I'll meet you guys back here in a few minutes after I have my Jasminer X4-1U configured, set up, and ready to mine. Okay guys, so our Jasminer is plugged in. It's got some type of fault light on the front, so that makes me feel real good. In addition to that, we have our Ethernet plugged in the back, as well as our power. And we have our watt meter up, and it says right now we're using 44.7 watts. And if we take a look here with our heat gun, 67.5. So it's not doing anything right now, because if you guys remember before, this was at that 67.5 when it came down to our surface temperature. So let me jump over to the computer. They have a great step-by-step guide on their website. I'm going to follow it, get it configured and set up, and then we'll check back. All right, miners, so we are 25 minutes in. Our hash rate says 491, as well as our average is 514. It's got a high reject rate. I assume that was prior to where we are now, but at 4.55. Let's go ahead and swap over to the camera. Okay, so we're screaming right now. Not crazy. I mean, granted, I got it uncovered. I bet you it's a lot quieter when I cover it and put everything on here. Our watts right now at the wall are 258. Actually at the wall, I'm going to touch this by hand. It's warm. Oh, there's some heat over here on this right side. It's cooler over here on the left side, but definitely heat up here. So let's go ahead and take our gun. So 78, so it's not actually too hot. I thought it'd be a lot warmer. Let me see if I can get down inside here. No, it's still 79. Over here is definitely going to be cooler. Yeah, 72. There's definitely some warmth though over here. Let me try like on an angle here. 75. Yeah, nothing too crazy. So right now it's super cool. I mean, this thing, there's no heat coming out. It's air coming out the back, but it's not bad. But like to the touch, cooler over here, definitely warmer over here. I don't think my heat gun is doing justice. Let me check the board here. Yeah, the board says 90 there. So maybe actually doing this on the heat sink is the wrong thing to do. There's 80. Ooh, fans are spinning up some more here. I like it. All right, I'm going to check back in a few minutes. Okay, miners. Well, this took over an hour to get up and running as expected. It was really quiet. Our voltage meter was at like 41, and then it got up to 47, and it slowly went up. And almost like it was scaling upwards. And this stayed like 68, 70 degrees, our heat sink here. But after an hour, this thing started screaming. And like you would expect from an ASIC. Well, taking a look at where we stand now, as I was showing you there, we're at 291 watts, 292. Now, we are running at the frequency of 225. The stock is 200, and then you can change it to 225. It's kind of like a built-in overclock. In that regard. But let's go ahead here and let's do a little test. Put my hand here. It's warm. Now it's really hot over here. Really hot, actually. So if we go on the board right here, where it says Jasminer, it's 104. But actually on the heatsink, it's only 83, which actually isn't too bad. Now, if we take a look at the fins here, you see how tall these are? The air is just flying through these things, and the size of this heatsink is helping to dissipate that heat really well. I'm actually kind of surprised. So if I go ahead and do a heat gun on the front of this is like my new toy. On the grill here, 71. If we go to the back side, 80. So literally, let's just round it here to a 10-degree difference. That is doing an amazing job at cooling this entire ASIC miner, which is nuts. Let's jump over to the computer and we'll talk about our final results and wrap this up. So jumping into the computer, you guys can see here, we've been up for 18 hours and 4 minutes. We're connected to the pool. Our hash rate reported is 493. Our average, which is what we're going to base some of our metrics off of, is 573. That's insane. Here's the frequency that we were talking about. It's at 225, and the hash rate it's reporting is 573. Our temps are between 34 and 50 degrees Celsius. You can see the ASIC status for those chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total chips, ASIC chips in there, which is awesome. Our fan speeds are down below, over 12,000 RPMs. I can absolutely believe it. So when you jump into the miner here, at the very bottom, we are mining Ethereum Classic. We talked about that at the top of the video. Here's where you can change that frequency. 200 is the default. We bumped it up. You know, we want as much as we can and as much as possible, which is awesome. So jumping over to our dashboard. This is our dashboard for our Ethereum wallet here. We have 2 miners right now on Ethereum Classic, Colossus, which is our 12 RX470 4 gig rig. Those are the Sapphire Nitros. Those are currently mining right now. Current hash rate is 302. Here's our Jasminer at 581 currently. I did reach out to some other people with Jasminers. They did say that the reported is at 0. That kind of threw me off for a while. I thought there was a problem with mine, but they said this is normal because of the Jasminer software. So I don't really know a ton there, but I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. That was the one thing that kind of confused me a little bit. So 581 mega hash, we can see up here right now in total between these 2 rigs, we're sitting at an average of 910 mega hash, which if you base it off of your profitability per day, you know, we're at 29.05, but that's between the 2 rigs. So let's go ahead and jump over to what to mine. And on what to mine right now, I put in, that says 520. Let's adjust that hash rate to 573. So we're going to change that up to 573. And we are at 292 for our power. Let's hit calculate at 10-cent kilowatt. And we're at $17.99 per day in profitability on this rig. Now, that's an Ethereum Classic. If you jump over to Ethereum, which is where most of mines are at right now, 573 for our hash, 292 for our power. We got 10-cent kilowatt for our cost. We're at $26.08 per day at the time of filming this on April 5th. So, the JingleMining Jasminer X4. What do you think? It's pretty crazy, the fact. 573 mega hash at 292 watts. You want to talk about efficiency? I think this has to be one of the most efficient Ethereum miners out there. Maybe even the king of Ethereum miners. You want to talk about the efficiency number? 1.9. I don't know anything out there that can beat it. Now, granted, it's an ASIC. It's not a GPU. Totally understand. I'll allow you guys to go ahead and make your decision when it comes down to the X4 here. For me, though, I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. Proof of stake is right around the corner as of right now for Ethereum, and you might be concerned about purchasing something like this. It is a hefty investment. Totally warranted. I won't question it one bit. But for me, I'm going to stick to my Ethereum Classic on it because you can do that now and you can do that in the future up till I think, what is it, 2029 or something like that? So hey, even though there's a $10 difference right now between Ethereum Classic and Ethereum per day, I'm going to stick with Ethereum Classic. I have high hopes for it here in the next few months, especially with Ethereum going proof of stake. Well, I'll let you guys make your own decisions and make your own judgments about the JingleMining Jasminer X4. Huge shout outs to their team for providing this today. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.